Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warcraft, and a new patch has gotten here. I know this is a little late, but as I have said before, when a new patch comes out, especially with a game like World of Warcraft, with the amount of add-ons that some of us like to use, let's just say that things can get a little buggy, and some of the add-ons we use may not be able to actually be used at the time because, well, yeah, the new patch kind of ruins them because of the new version of the game we're now having to play. So we have to give the authors time to update the add-ons to make it more compatible with the new version. So yeah, it's Monday night, so it's the night before reset. I expect that this patch will be a little bit more stable tomorrow after the maintenance they usually do on Tuesday mornings. But anyways, I wanted to go ahead and do this before the reset because there is new content to do, especially story content, and it's something that I'm actually quite interested in because I heard about ATs and I was like, okay. So I have also a couple of little things to show off that I was able to pull off this week in the meantime. So I may not have gotten this either. Okay, so for those of you who may not know about this mount, this was a mount that you actually got, I think it was for pre-ordering Diablo 3 when it first launched. I missed out on this mount because I wasn't into Diablo at the time. I didn't get until Diablo 3 until after Reaper of Souls came out. So I missed out on getting this mount. But then they brought it back for this special Treasure Goblin event that happened recently with the launch of Diablo 4, where you could actually have a chance at it dropping from a Treasure Goblin. I didn't get lucky from the times I tried to kill him. But this month, the trading post had this mount as a possible reward for you to redeem your coins for. So I now finally have this mount. I'm not really too interested in using this on my Demon Hunter because to me it just doesn't fit. But I do think this is a good Paladin mount. But that's just me. But the other thing I wanted to show off was that this month also offered this. This was the mount that you got for finishing all the rewards you see there. That's the top reward for doing all the necessary rewards for this month. And this is a Dragonflight mount. So you can actually use this for dragonflying if you want. So it looks pretty cool. It's a Netherwing Drake mount, a little bit better looking version than the ones we used to get back in Burning Crusade. The only issue is that there are no customization options for it. In case you're curious, let me go ahead and show you right now. I already checked this. But unfortunately, this is not even an option to customize. You can still customize the 5 main ones, but it's not even an option to customize this new one, which I find very disappointing. Like, you give us this new mount for dragonflying, but you don't have any customization options for it. So it's like, I mean, I guess it looks fine on its own, but still. Otherwise, I feel like, why would I not just keep using this one, Now, with this new patch, we're going to be able to get some new options for our Drakes, but I will let that kind of be discovered on its own once we get underway, because I have not really touched the new story content for this patch. I have messed around with some of the stuff I would usually be working on, trying to get some keys done, which I already have gotten some keys done for this week. You can see I actually joined a re-clear of Normal Aberrus. I still haven't touched Heroic yet. I really should because, well, I did a 15, but we didn't do it in time, but I'll still get a 437 piece out of there. But I'm now currently up to 425, so I feel like I might be able to actually go ahead and do Heroic, but I'll have to see whether or not I can get into a group. I'll also have to rewatch my guide about the Heroic differences in that raid. But anyways, because this is a new patch, we have some new story content, and it's mainly starting off with our good old buddy, Nozdormu.
Open your mind to what is yet to come.
My vision is hazy, but there is no mistaking what I saw. A dark alliance opposes the bronze Dragonflight, one I do not know if I shall be able to overcome. I ask that you meet me in Aeon's Fringe. We will speak more of this threat here. this threat there. If there is any who I would entrust with safeguarding our future, it is you.
Certain events are inevitable.
So, if you are not sure what he's referring to, I'm hoping that it's going to show the cutscene, because there is a full-on, like, cinematic cutscene for this, which I'm hoping is going to show once we actually get to where we need to go. I will also say that one of the things I thought they were saying in anticipation for this patch was that they were going to be making more of our mounts, like, able to use dragon riding. But unfortunately, it seems like these mounts have not yet gotten that change yet. And I thought that was something they were actually going to be doing in this patch, but I guess not. Maybe they just haven't been able to get it done yet. Whoops, I'm going the wrong way. Alright. Oh, hey, Chromie. Lucky for you, I'm here to help solve everything, as usual.
It's like...
Yes, it is. I, Chromie from the future. Nice to meet you again. Now, I can't talk too much about about when I'm from or why I'm here, protecting the timeways and all that. You understand, but I know exactly what's going to happen and exactly how to stop it.
It's been a pleasure. We'll meet again.
So the timeways, yeah? Yeah, they're very misaligned, and you know how we bronzes hate that? So we need to realign time with these temporal hourglasses. Just plop them down throughout Eon's fringe. But you know me, I'll always need to help. So I'll be placing another hourglass nearby. Meet me there when you're all done.
Good luck on your next adventure.
I need you to fetch me some time lost essence. The creatures around here are filled to the brim with stuff. Snuff them out and then use this epoch extractor to collect their essence. We'll make good use of it for our next stop. And yes, this is going to be a multi-step process. You know how crazy these time shenanigans get.
Until next time.
Thanks for doing these tasks for me. It's really helpful. With your help, Nosdormu won't have to worry about a thing. Trust me on that. By the way, also, there is a new dungeon called Dawn of the Infinite. We'll show that in a bit. I honestly don't know. Like, usually when this kind of thing happens, they usually try to go ahead and show that cutscene right away. And I'm wondering when it's going to happen, because it kind of needs to explain, or use that cutscene to explain why we're doing this. But in that case, if for some reason it doesn't play, I'm going to go ahead and make a cut here. I'm going to head on over to YouTube, pull the cutscene, and show you guys the cutscene that was teased for this patch to kind of let you know what we're dealing with. So I will be right back.
My friend, do the clouds still accost your mind?
Something much more terrifying. A moment of clarity. I have lived 1,000,000 lives and witnessed their endless unfolding threads. Was it a vision? A memory or a dream? Is there any difference?
Nosdormu, what did you see?
My hour grows late. Those who broke their oaths to the timeways, the infinites, have struck a bargain. I do not know what Iridikron has promised them, and yet...
We have defeated each of them before.
Yes, but together, the infinite horizon is all but inevitable. And once I become what they desperately want me to be, the darkest version of myself, the future will be lost. And so will I.
I am not giving up on you, my friend. We are not giving up on you.
So yeah, now that you know what's going on... So, I guess as we're doing this, I'll go ahead and take a moment to... Oh, hold on. Oh, this was another quest. Oh, hey, Chromie.
It's so nice to see you. Is this goodbye or hello? I keep losing track.
I protect the sands of time. I will be here.
Bartender Bob.
Why, hello. Until next time. It's been a pleasure.
Time reveals all.
So, yeah, Time Rift is another feature, which I have yet to do. Because, again, I want to go ahead and do this content here first before we did that. So, anyways. So, I guess as we're doing this, I'll go ahead and talk about the implications here about whether or not this may be a retcon involving Murazond, Nozdormu's darker self. By the way, can I just say, I feel like the new actor who took over for Nozdormu in place of Martin Sheen has done a pretty good job. Whether or not he is able to live up or, you know, to replacing someone like Martin Sheen, I'm not sure, but whether or not he's a good enough replacement, that's not necessarily what my point is. I think that he's doing a fine job, regardless of whether or not he's as good or better than Martin Sheen. If they couldn't get Martin Sheen back and they had to get somebody else to fill in instead, I think he's been doing a very good job. So, in case you need a reminder, back in Cataclysm, of course, the Dragonflights had a very important part in the story because, of course, we were dealing with Deathwing. And if you caught the image there in that cutscene, this was the image you probably saw. This is an image that, to me, is still one of the most incredible images we've ever had. Because that image just captures so much about Deathwing. The end time, the possible timeline where, yes, Deathwing succeeded, destroying the world, and then he just simply killed himself, impaling himself on the temple because he did his job and that was it. And then we took on this guy. The alternate version of Nozdormu that he turns into. And the idea was that we were able to take care of him, preventing Nozdormu from actually becoming that. And that was the idea at the time, that we had been able to prevent that from happening. Well, apparently that's not really the case. Now what they're saying is that it's still a very likely possibility that it can still happen. So I guess now then the discussion becomes, okay, is this how much of a retcon is this? Like, let's be clear, like, because of the big change when it comes to the staff at Blizzard, especially when it comes to the creative team and the writing staff, obviously what those writers had intended in the story compared to what the new members of the writing staff have intended, I'm sure they're like, okay, we gotta make some changes to kind of like deal with what was going on with these guys, because either we can't or don't want to continue what they were doing with the story and the characters at the time. So then the issue becomes, if this in fact is a retcon, is this a good retcon? Is them redoing this story about Nozdormu possibly becoming Murazond a good one? Now, maybe it could be. My usual tendency and reaction when it comes to these things is this. I like to hold off and wait and decide on that when I actually see where they're going with it. Because I have been one of those who have said that I do not consider retcons on their own to be a bad thing. That's just not how I think. To me, a retcon can be a good thing if you do something with it and if it's done well. That's partly my main point about that. If they want to retcon this, the whole Murazan thing, okay, let me see what you're going to do with it, and then I will decide at the end and figure out whether or not I think it was good or bad.
Or goodbye. I keep losing track.
Me? From the future? Why, she's one of my top 3 people to trust. But it doesn't make sense. Why would she want you to distort the time waste to help Nozdormu? It seems like it would just give him a headache.
The time
What's
waste
this?
must be
Time loss
preserved.
essence.
Take care
I'm not
of
sure what this
yourself
is,
out there.
what this all is, but I suppose I'll find some use for it. It's best to not let it go to waste.
Good luck on your next adventure.
One result of your time realignment is that it seems to have summoned me. Me? Well, alternate timeline versions of me. I've never seen so many chromies in one place, and while they may all be cute, they're... Okay, I gotta hold off on trying to do her voice. It's actually straining my throat. She has such a high voice. She sounds like a mouse. I can't do her voice. I've never seen so many chromies in one place, and while they all may be cute, they're playing havoc on the local timeways. We need to trap them to synchronize their time signatures. Maybe then they'll be able to tell us what's going on.
We'll meet again.
Just throw the trap and I'll do the rest. And don't worry, it doesn't hurt them. Just kind of tastes like lavender. The color, not the plant. So, that may not have been our Chromie we spoke to, but possibly a different version of Chromie. Interesting. Hey, Chronosaurus. A time-lost Murloc. Murhulk. Oh.
Some of the beasties that came through the time rifts here ended up in bad places, like these poor wee kitties. Go on and save them.
Well, there's that version of Chromie. There you are.
Salutations.
Aha! Gotcha! What? Nope, no. I don't want to do this right now. There we go. Aha. There you are. I love that I'm using Chromie's time trap ability from Heroes of the Storm to catch her. Chrome E. Get it? Seriously, I love that we are using her time trap ability. Oh my gosh, it's a Tauren version of Chromie. But yeah, this is straight up her time trap ability from Heroes of the Storm. I love it when the developers decide to use something from another one of their games. And I love that we're seeing alternate versions of Chromie as different races other than a gnome. That's great. No. Ugh, I hate it when the quest tracker all of a sudden is like, hey, go do this next quest. I'm like, I don't want to do that right now.
It's like meeting again for the first time.
Oh no, we've been tricked. That Chromie from the future isn't a future Chromie at all. She's an alternate timeline me. Just like the rest of the Chromies running around. Why would she lie to you?
I have a feeling I know why.
Good luck on your next
We need to get to the
adventure.
bottom of this future Chromie business. Just where is that dragon? She needs to explain herself. Let's start by inspecting one of her temporal hourglasses. Maybe that will give us a clue.
It's been a pleasure.
Okay, hold on a second, guys. I apologize. So if you hear a loud buzzing in the background, I apologize. That is my fan. I usually turn it down when I'm recording, but it is so hot here that I have to turn it up. So it's going to be a little loud. You may hear a little buzzing in the microphone. I'm sorry, but I just can't stand how hot it's getting in my room. My room is actually one of the hottest rooms in our house. So not having the fan running while I'm recording, especially when it gets this hot. Because normally if it's not this hot, it's fine. But when it gets this hot, geez Louise, I can't. I just can't.
I need to get closer.
Ha! Figured it out, did you? A little too late. You're working with the Infinite? What a terrible Chromie! It's Morchi, you brat! And yes, the time has come to bring about Murazon! Wanna stop me? Catch me if you can!
She actually did the hand animation of putting her finger on her nose and was like, neener, neener, neener. Morchi headed down to that chamber. We need to follow. Gosh, that little animation to me just shows how much they have grown their animation technology in this game. Think about it. There was a time there was no way that was possible for them to do that. They could only just do these kind of basic animations. And the fact that they can get them to do those animations now in these kind of cutscenes is incredible. Look at this. Okay, I kind of love we're getting to see this. Chronormu, who is a Tauren. Chromie, who is a... it's a mechanome. Chromie. Get it. Oh, it's one of those guys from Draenor. And Old Chromie. It looks like another gnome, but I guess more... I don't know. Okay, in that case...
I need to target something first.
What? We have to follow her. If she's working with the Infinites, she can't be up to no good.
I always have time for you.
Well, at least we stopped Morchi's accomplice. These infinite dragons are always causing all sorts of trouble. But we can't rest until Morchi herself is captured and sent packing back to her own crummy timeline.
We'll meet again.
Morchi didn't just teleport herself away, she took all the other chromies with her. I have a bad feeling about this, about why. We have to follow and capture her, and question her. I want to know what she is up to.
Is this goodbye or hello? I keep losing track.
I know Morchi's here, but can't tell which one she is. We gotta figure it out.
I knew you'd turn up eventually.
Hold on.
Take
I get to
care
ask
of
each of them
yourself out
this.
there.
Who are you? Nosy. Does the chromie of this timeline allow you to ask such questions? Have you not considered what havoc such knowledge could cause? Just know that I'm not your enemy. But she does stand among us. Thank you.
You have acquired my attention.
Who are you? I am Chrome E. In the context of your understanding, you may surmise that I am much like the Chromie that you have befriended. However, I have chosen the perfected form of a mechanome. More information would breach timeline inquiry protocols. Your compliance on this matter is appreciated.
Good maintenance.
You wish to speak?
I have chosen to protect the balance of time through the form of a Tauren. As you know, dragons choose their visage based on their own desires and experiences. I find it hard to imagine myself making any other choice. I am curious why the Chromie of this timeline chose the visage of a gnome. Perhaps there will be a time later to speak of such
Ancestors,
things.
watch over you.
Can I help you?
Who are you?
Well there, partner. Ain't that a question? There's so much I could say. My past, my present, my hopes of the future. Why such a quandary could take your lifetime to answer. But you ain't got time for all that right now. Just know I'm a straight shooter, through and through. I would never do a darn thing to harm the timeline, you hear?
You have a great day now. Haven't we done this before?
Oh, well, you know everything you know about Chromie. Chromie? Well, pretty much the same goes for me, only I'm even more normal than her. Even sweeter. Even more of a good person who would never trick or harm a living soul. And protecting the timeline? Why, that's my middle name. It makes signing documents quite a chore. But I'll do anything for the greater good.
The time ways must be preserved.
Alright, this is the only one that didn't actually, tell me anything, so I'm gonna say it's you! Okay, maybe not. Maybe it's you! Of course it is.
Oh, sure. You can interrogate me. Or you could go save your precious bronze temple. The temple? What are the Infinites planning? We shall ensure the rise of our master, Mirazond. And the longer you stand here talking to me, well... We're here, Nostormo!
Too late for me, I am afraid. The infinite Dragonflight has already entered the temple.
It's never too late. We can still stop them. We are not giving up on you.
Ever the optimist, Chronormu. Yes, we must try.
Is this hello or goodbye?
We can't give up now. There's still time to save the temple and beat those Infinites once and for all. We can't let them control the true timeline, and I certainly will not let them turn Nosdormu into that nasty Murozond.
Until next time.
Chronoloord Dios must be behind this all. As the leader of the Infinites, he's sure to have led this invasion. I bet Morchi is working for him too. Let's head to the Bronze Temple. We need to stop Dios before he ruins the true timeline.
So, this is, of course, the quest to go into the new dungeon that you see. This is, of course, the new Mega Dungeon, as in right now, there is no way to queue for this, because right now it's Mythic only. So, yeah. So, it's a dungeon that I would have to get into a group and do on Mythic, and not be able to queue for Heroic in order to be able to show it to you guys, as you can see here. A big 8-man dungeon, or 8-boss dungeon. Is it 8? Yeah, it's 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So yeah. So you're probably noticing a few bosses here that are like, whoa, really? Yep, apparently so. Also, there's also apparently some good stuff in here. Like, I could be able to get a couple different weapons here. Ooh, Time Strike. What is Time Strike? Like, I like that it's got Critical Strike and Haste, but I don't know what Time Strike is. So there's a few different weapons I could be able to get from here. Some pieces, but, not really tier pieces. Hello, a trinket. Taking haste. Huh. I'll have to check how that looks. What about this one? Ooh, a future version of myself to fight alongside me for 20 seconds, casting spells based on my role, and grants me a lot of my high secondary stat. Ooh, I'll bet that's pretty good. And then this, I heard about this mount. This is a very interesting mount. Observe the Quantum Courser, causing it to take the form of a random mount from the past. And what I have heard is that if it takes the form of a mount you do not have in your collection, it will add it to your collection. Let me say that again. If you get this mount, and then it becomes a mount you don't have in your collection, it adds it to your collection. So, for example, I don't have Mimiron's head from Ulduar yet. But if I got this mount and it became Mimiron's head, it would add Mimiron's head to my collection, and I then wouldn't have to go farm Yogg-Saron anymore. That is incredible. Like, that is amazing that that mount actually does that. If that is in fact true. I don't know if this is actually true or not. It's what I heard, but I don't know if anyone proved whether or not it is in fact true or not. So, yeah, I don't normally consider showing you guys a mythic level dungeon. I usually just wait until I can queue up for it on heroic. But, I don't know. Maybe I'll actually see about joining a group, maybe see whether or not anyone in my guild has not done it and wants to do it. And then, maybe we'll consider doing it. So, I don't know, I'll figure that out when we come back. Stay tuned.